Alright, SPX update here on the 11th. So, I haven't done a market update in the last couple of days, but I went in pretty in depth on SPX this morning. So, we all know that 2022 is wave 4, so I'm going to stop there. Here's my updated count here. So, we have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The August crash was wave 4. And this has changed. So we were expecting this to be a C wave, and it still is a C wave. But here's the part that's kind of tricky. And this has been tricky the whole time because this isn't a really good impulse. It has pretty bad structure, meaning that it doesn't come outside the parallel lines here. So I usually would just go by fibs at that point, and the 1.61 fib takes us up here to this right here. We get a lower pullback here and then one more high, and then from there we get an ABC move. This was ABC, B, ABC, so I guess that could be a W wave here, and then you get a ABC move here as well. This ends up being A, B. This is a small impulse right here for a B wave. And so we know that we're making a C wave down. And obviously I was not expecting it to go this low. And I don't think anybody was really. But yesterday it hit the 1.61 fib. Basically almost to the penny, a little bit short of it. Right now it's a little bit up, pretty much flat. So, in my opinion, we either topped out right here. I am going to put that as a possibility because it is a possibility. This is a fifth wave here. Or this is one of 5 of an extension. And I've told you for a long time that I think the dollar is coming all the way down here to 95. So far, it's been really bearish for the market. It started falling in January. Where were we at? Well, it was bearish. It was bearish for about half of that move. But it doesn't really matter because we're in this move right now. If the dollar keeps on going down, it's going to be bullish now. I think overall it's bullish, but maybe they're accumulating here for a wave 3. So it's either going to look like ABC, it could extend lower, but we've already hit the 1.61 fib, and we're going to come back here and then go down more, or it's going to just be a third wave coming up. If it's a third wave coming up, then could potentially be looking at 6,800 for a third wave. I know that sounds crazy right now, but that's what is going to happen. If it is a third wave, it's going to look like, and it could be a diagonal too. It could come down here and then go higher like that. We could end with a diagonal. So basically just focus on the 6,800, and maybe that takes a while. Maybe that takes all the way until like October for a third wave. But the one good thing about this whole mess is that this is a corrective move. It would have been worse. It would have been worse if it was just like a 5-wave move higher and then we just got this, because then it could just fall off a cliff and there's no like basis of where it's going to. Here we kind of have a basis because it's a B wave. We know it's a B wave, and so you wouldn't expect it to go much past the 1.61 fib. I mean, they could extend it. There is a gap down here at 53.70. So they could take it all the way down to that gap. That would be a pretty big retrace from the top. The top is at, that'd be right around the 0.78 fib though. So that's kind of like the downside I'd be watching. If there is more downside, 53.75 is where you're looking at. So you're looking at another, looking at another 4% down. basically. So then we get into the C wave now, and this is really tricky too. This wasn't like an easy wave. In my opinion, this is an extension here. So this right here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1. And then I have this as a second wave here. So I have A, B, C, 2. If you take the 1.61 fib of this right here, comes down to here. So that can be wave 3. And we can measure the length of wave 3 to know if we're good or not. Because this looks like it's longer than this. This right here is 59.86 minus 57.32. So 254, 58.67. 56.13. Did we break that? We did. We did break that. So that means that we are still likely to go down, unfortunately, because let me make sure I did that right. 58.66. No, I did it right. 56.13, and we've already broken that. Let's double check and make sure this first wave is not shorter. 61.48. I don't think it is, but we'll do it anyway. Minus 59.08. So actually, no, we could be at the end because this is actually shorter. This first wave is the shortest. It's shorter than wave 3. So this could be the end still. It would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This would be a diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can be finished. So it's possible that this is finished. And if it's not finished, then I would say this is wave 1. This would be wave 2. And then you're looking at a diagonal for wave 3. The thing about this is you look at where this is at, it hit the 1.61 fib. So I'd be looking for a wave 4 here, and then probably a move. Let's see here. I'll move down here to like 5,400, and that would only be the end of wave 3. So then you'd be looking at that. So I would say, based on what I see, this is a perfectly fine 5-wave move right now. Let's see if the parallel lines work. And parallel lines work as well. We broke the parallel line. We did not come into wave 1. And then we ended with a diagonal. We ended with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is possible that that was the end of either the A wave down. Remember, that could be the top, or that's the end of wave 2. But it's also possible that this could extend down here to 53.71. Where would the invalidation level be for this to go down lower? I have it drawn up right here. If we break above 57.34, then I would say this is finished, because then you're looking at it like a diagonal in a wave 3. That just doesn't seem like it's going to happen. So I think that's actually still fine in Elliot Wave, but that's very unlikely that would happen. So I say there's a very good chance that we already bottomed here. But like I showed you, we got to get above 57.34. All right, last thing. Let's look at supply and demand, and that's another thing that's been really annoying. There hasn't been any good supply and demand zones. Like, they're all gone. There's not anything to really base it off of. And then moving averages, we're below all the moving averages now too. So that's also tough. So yeah, I want to see us though. We still need to get back above 56.45 by the end of the week. Invalidation for the 5-wave move down, 57.32. We could be in a wave 2. We could be in a wave A. So it's either wave 2 or wave A, and we don't even know if it's done yet or not. But it most likely is because we hit the 1.61 fib, and this is a valid 5-wave move down. So I'm just expecting something like this. This whole move took, let's see, how long did this take? December 2nd to, if it finished yesterday, that would be, what is that, like 98 days? So I would expect like a 3-month retrace. A 3-month retrace if it's a B wave. Of course, it could always be an X wave, but I would say B wave makes more sense. So that would take us all the way into June for a retrace. And we're way below the standard deviations, so we would take a while for this B wave. Or again, ABC2, and then we go up here for wave 3, 4, and 5. So yeah, that's pretty much what I got on this. If we did top out, we should be retracing anyway, and they should be killing the bears for a while. But we'll see if we can bottom. If we did bottom, be watching to see if this ends up being a 4th wave, like I showed you. It's possible, but I would say it's more likely that we're finished just by looking at it right here. It just doesn't seem like this would be a 3rd wave. A diagonal for a 3rd wave of a 3rd wave. It makes more sense that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 diagonal. So that's all I got. Let's see what happens. Options were not really that bullish though. That's another thing that's annoying. We have above the ask, they're selling puts here. They did do this at 208 though. We're at 560. But that was also right around about an hour before the close. A couple hours before the close. So we'll see what happens. That's my update for SPX. The only chart that really matters right now. I can look at QQQ, but this is probably the most important chart. So that's it for this update. Leave me a comment, like, subscribe for more updates, and I'll catch you in the next video.